Hello, disciples. Welcome to another episode of Disciple Thoughts. I am your host, Mpa Ndams. Today, I thought let me continue on the topic of love since we are in the month of love. I feel like February is the month of love because it's Valentine's, and so I was like, why not speak more into love? Last week, I delved into the love of God to say that love is not us loving God. Love is not us doing the things. Love is not us going to church, reading the Bible, fasting 100 days. No. Last week, according to the book of John, 1 John, John says that love is not the fact that we love him, but it's the fact that God loved us through his son. And so I was kind of delving into that to remind us that when we are doing all the things, in God's sight, it does not equate to us loving him. And I also reference the book of Revelations, where Jesus is sending a letter to the church to say that return to your first love, because I can see all the work that you're doing, of which I commend you. I love that. I love the fact that you like evil people, you persevere, you are patient. He says that I love that. I love the works that you're doing, but you have forgotten your first love. He says that this is what I have against you, that you don't love me anymore. And I think it's interesting that, did I say this last week, that even in us doing all the things, God still wants us to know what love is, to continue in love, to be in love. And so last week, that's what I kept on reiterating. I don't know if there's a word. I feel like I always say it in my mind, but I don't think that's the right word. But I kept on pressing into the fact that we need to learn how to abide in God's love. Because when we abide, then from there, we must do things from the fullness of being loved by God. We mustn't do things because we think that God is going to love us more. God already loves us. He sent his son even before he knew, even before we knew that we were sinful. And so he loves, so he wants us to abide in that love. And out of that love comes the works. It's as if it's the love that does the work, It's not even, so even as that's so crazy that even obedience, it takes us to be loved by God. It takes us to continue to abide in God's love for us to actually be obedient. The fact that we actually even need God to be obedient. Picking up from last week's episode, right? Today, for this episode rather, I asked myself the question of, okay, Paul, I hear you. Lord, I hear you that I should learn to abide in your love. But what does that mean? And so today I want to delve into that, in as much as I don't think I did justice to the question, because God's love is so, it's such a broad concept. It's how the Bible says God he's a mystery, and he's also eternal. So we can never really, until we get to eternity, understand God in his fullness. As I was preparing, right, I made this analogy about rest. So I currently am at school, so I stay at rest, and I love coming back home. I'm one of those kids at school who I'm always at home, guys. Even currently, people are at school, but I love being at home. Any chance I get, I will come back at home. And why do I always find myself at home? Because one, at home there's always food, guys. There's always food. At home is where I feel valued. At home, I know that everyone loves me without a doubt. I don't have to question my parents' love for me. I don't have to question my siblings' love for me. I know that they love me. At home is where I get to rest, rest fully, not have to worry about sorting and stuff like that. At home is where I get to, I'm free, I'm free in the things I do, in the things I like. do you get the feeling that I'm trying to make of a home? That there is so much security at home. When you think about all of this, I was just also thinking about all of this, that this is something at home that has been cultivated by imperfect human beings. Here at home, we are all imperfect, but somehow when I'm at home, this is how I feel. I feel secured. I feel comfortable. I feel free. I feel loved. I'm at ease. There's rest, and all of this is cultivated by imperfect human beings. Now, going back to making God's love your own home, right? Now we can only imagine the home that God's love can cultivate, because it is perfect love. The same way that we make a home, we go home for all of these things, or we feel these things at home. I think that is what God is calling us to do in His love when He says, "Abide in me," is that in me rest, in me feel valued, in me be free. Yeah, the Lord is calling us to get providence for Him. I said, for me, I come at home because this is food. There's always food here. Can never run out of food. How much more God, our provider? It is in Him that we should come to get the food for our life. Like, we should make, I feel like we should make His love our home. That is such a beautiful concept. Your home being God's love. That's where you sleep, in God's love. Woo. That's where you eat, in God's love. And also what I love about a home, right, is the fact that everything that you do at home, again, making the analogy, everything that I do at rest is grounded by the things that I do at home. Even from cleaning, like the way we clean here at home, it's the same way I clean the dress. The food that we buy here, some of the food I still buy, because this home grounds you. And so even love, and I think it's a point I was trying to make last week, to say that it is from love that we must do. So we must live. The book of John says that, stay with me, 1 John. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in him. In this way, love is made complete. So when we continue in this love, because God's love is our home and we are grounded by it, we must continue in it. And continue, I hope that, I'm trying to emphasize on the fact that it is from this love that we are going to do the things. Going back to the fact that it's not by your own strength. It takes God's love for you to be obedient, is what I'm trying to say. It takes God's love for you to serve him. It takes God's love for you to pray, for you to fast. Like that is cultivated. That should be cultivated by God's love. It shouldn't be cultivated by our own selfish ambitions, by our own strengths, but it should be cultivated by God's love. So abide, make it your home, so that when you continue to live your life, you are living in it, and everything that you do is again a byproduct of God's love, of the fact that your home is God's love. Oh, I'm loving this. Like, this concept is blowing my mind. Like, I must stay in God. Like this is my home, God's love. Can you imagine God's love being your home? I'm thinking about all the things that I get to do at home, freely so. Because I know that I'm loved, like regardless of what I do. And I think that's why John will say that there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. Because fear has to do with punishment. So when you are fully loved at home, regardless of what you do, and not to say that you take advantage, but you just know that there's I can never go anywhere. My parents can never kick me out. They can never abandon me because I'm loved. So how much more God's love? How much more are we made complete when we continue to live in this love? When we continue to be grounded by it and in everything that we do. And as I conclude with the book of Psalms 91 verse 1, it says that he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. He who abides in the shelter of the Most High will rest. He who dwells, he who abides, he who stays there will find rest there. Oh. He who eats there will be filled there. And then verse 9 says that if you make the Most High your dwelling, if you make the Most High your home, even the Lord who is my refuge, then no harm will befall you, no disaster will come near your tent. And I'm convinced that nothing can really harm you because your home is God's love. You can only imagine the amount of protection you have because you stay in God's love. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really pray that this word first to me that it takes root. I pray, and I'm praying for anyone who's listening, to say that may this word take root in our hearts and produce fruit, meaning that, Lord, may we abide, may we make your love our home, and may your love be the thing that grounds us. May your love be the thing that comforts us. May your love be the thing that validates us. May your love be the thing that satisfies us. May it ground us so much that the only fruits to be produced are yours, like are from your spirit. And may we not be so concerned about doing everything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for you, so much so that we forget to rest in your love. Give us a conviction to say that, Lord, it is in your love that we can obey you. It is your love that gives us the power to obey you. Yes, it is your love that gives us the willingness, the heart, the spirit to obey you. It's not by our strength. It shouldn't be by our strength. Teach us, Lord, to abide in your love, to stay. And in that way, Lord, we will produce fruit. I will see you next week, guys. Thank you for tuning in.